That's gonna take a while.
All right, this is Kearny County District Court, January 23, 2024. Judge Walters presiding. This is Kearny County District Court case 2023 TR 404, State of Kansas versus Kevin Burney, Sanabria Nyla. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Neela.
Sir, you have not appeared. We have not done a first appearance yet. And so that's something I want to do today. I'm going to go over something with you regarding your rights as a criminal or traffic defendant. I'll try to go fairly quickly, but I need you to hear and understand these. And if you don't, wave at me and we'll go over it, okay?
All right.
You have a right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at every stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent with the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. You understand each of these rights as I've read them, sir?
Yes.
I'm going to read special considerations for non-citizens. I don't know if this applies. I just read it as a blanket statement to every person I see. Conviction of a crime can adversely affect the immigration status of any individual who is not an American citizen. This applies to all convictions, including most traffic offenses. Receiving a diversion can constitute a conviction for immigration purposes. Adverse effects to your immigration status may be significant. These include the potential revocation of your immigration status and/or the ordering of your deportation. Because of the potentially severe consequences resulting from a conviction, you are entitled to an opportunity to discuss the potential impacts of a conviction with an immigration attorney. Wishing to discuss the potential consequences of a conviction with an immigration attorney does not constitute an exercise of your right to counsel. You are not entitled to the appointment of an attorney solely to address potential immigration issues. Understand that as I read it, sir?
Yes.
Well,
We will waive a formal reading, Your Honor.
thank you. That was my next question.
I've done this before.
I bet you have. Probably more than me. All right. With that said, what are we doing today, Mr. Gagos? We are now past first appearance with Mr. Ryan here. And I should probably state for the record, Mr. Gagos for the state is appearing in person. Mr. Ryan and Mr. Neela are both appearing via.
Your Honor, I believe we have an agreement with Mr. Neela.
That is correct. I can announce that if you need me to, Eli.
Go for it.
Your Honor, there are 4 counts. First count is a DUI. We will be pleading guilty to the DUI. The other 3 counts 2, 3, and 4, will be dismissed with prejudice. Sentencing recommendations to the court will include minimum jail and fine. We recognize that there is a 48-hour mandatory jail on this one. And we announced to the court that there is restitution necessary of $1,342.49.
I believe there's a 6-month underline as well, Your Honor.
Probation, yes, will be a 6-month underlying jail with a probation of 6 months.
I have a year. That's what my
A
notes.
year, okay, with a early termination available when the defendant completes all of the terms of his probation. And that restitution, Your Honor, is paid to Hazlett, HAYZLETT Farm and Ranch at 1112 Road T as in Tango, Lake in Kansas, 67860.
There's also an $80 restitution to a Diego Manuel Enriquez Fernandez. $108 court cost, $750 fine, $60 probation fee, and add SAP evaluation to be done within 45 days and complete all recommendations. That's by statute.
The $1,250 fine, the minimum.
750. So it's $1,342.49 to Randy Hazlett, and I have his address on a journal entry already, and then also to a Diego Manuel Enriquez Fernandez for $80. That's what he provided to us. And then $60 probation fee, Your Honor. 12-month probation with court services, 6-month underlying after serving 48 hours in jail. So we're gonna need to know when he's gonna want to serve his 48 hours.
Okay.
And also when he has to report to court services for probation.
Found that can only be done after.
So you can advise, after he gets released from jail, he has 48 hours to contact court services. And
We'll arrange all of that when we can get him here. He's working in North Dakota right now, Your Honor, so we'll need to schedule when he can get back here.
Sir, you've been listening while your attorney and the county attorney have discussed this agreement, have you not?
Yeah, yes,
Did you understand everything they were telling the court?
yeah, I understood everything.
And is that agreement what you thought it was?
Your Honor, there's one thing. My notes don't indicate that he'd be getting off early release, though. I have 12 months. My notes don't indicate anything regarding early release from termination. I know Mr. Ryan just stated that, but my notes don't indicate that, and I didn't propose that either because I'm dismissing 3 charges. Now, if Mr. Ryan and his client need time to talk about that, I'm more than willing to allow them time, but I just figured I'd state that on the record right now as my note.
Okay, I do have that in my notes, Eloy. I'm sorry. I don't know if that changes anything or not.
Welcome to have a breakout room with them or call them and find out.
Well, as the court's gonna weigh in on this, whatever the agreement is fine if that's a dispute. Have in the past, when we have done these, the early on court services. Lady or gentleman needs to.
Your Honor, you're cutting out. I'm hearing about half of that right now. I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah, we're having trouble with the microphone. So
Okay.
do you gentlemen need a breakout room?
If you'll express again, you said something about community corrections or so forth, and
He's basically given discretion to the CSO as to early release or not.
okay. I'll just quickly ask Kevin, Kevin, you'll have a probation officer through community corrections,
Or no,
Yep.
court services.
court services? if you're happy, if they are happy with you and they recommend, you got all your school done and you got everything done and you haven't been in trouble, they can recommend to the court. And what the judge is saying, that he'll usually go with their recommendation. So it's not automatic, like you and I talked, that you would get to have probation finished when you finished everything. Your probation officer will be able to do that. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Very well. All right, hopefully you can continue to hear me with this microphone. So, sir, are you still, after this discussion, wanting to proceed with this agreement?
Yes.
You understand that certain aspects of this agreement, the court is not bound by, that being recommendation of the sentencing? Do you understand the court could go its own direction?
Yeah.
All right, quick question. Are you under the influence of any prescription medication, any other chemical substance, or any stressors that would make you unable to render good decisions today?
No.
All right, and you can hear and understand me, okay?
Yes.
All right, so with that said, are you wanting to proceed now with this agreement? Seeing a nod of the head and hearing an uh-huh, we'll call that a yes, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. As to count one of the complaint, driving under the influence in violation of Kansas statute 8-1567A1, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
To just everything completely what they just told me.
This is whether you're pleading to the DUI or not, and we're pleading guilty to that charge.
Yeah, guilty.
Okay, that's a guilty plea, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Gallegos, any recommendation on other counts?
The state will be respectfully dismissing the remaining counts, Your Honor.
Very well. And as far as a factual basis,
I can give a factual basis. He was under the age 21. He was over a .08 actually. And there was an accident. He was operating the vehicle.
and final question, this was in Kearny County, Kansas, correct?
Yes, it was.
Well, then the court accepts factual basis, finds the defendant guilty as to count 1 DUI. The state has moved to dismiss the remaining counts. Any reason why we can't proceed to sentencing?
I have no reasons.
No, Your Honor.
So, sir, prior to sentencing, is there anything you would like to tell the court? Any explanation or anything in mitigation of what we're about to do?
Like to proceed and everything.
Or I'm just asking you, do you want to address the court? Tell me anything you think I should know before sentencing, or do you just want to go to sentencing?
I'm just trying to fix everything. I owned up to my mistake and I know I did something wrong and honestly, I'm just trying to own up to it just to get it done with. I just learned my lesson from that.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, then. As to sentencing, the court will follow the recommendations for the most part. You'll be ordered to pay a fine of $750, $108 court cost, $60 probation fee, as well as the stated restitution of $1,342.49 to Hazlet Farm and Ranch, and the $80 in restitution to Diego Fernandez I caught. And also you'll be required to obtain and complete the ADSAP examination and follow the recommendations as required by law. In addition, you'll be sentenced to 6 months underlying jail term with probation for that for a year. I will grant court services discretion to release you early should court services deem it appropriate based on your conduct during probation. You will be required to serve 48 hours in the Kearny County Jail at a date to be determined. Did I state the fines, court costs, and probation correctly so far, counsel?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. The only thing I'm asking is a date today.
Kevin, when can you come back and do 48 hours of jail? And at that same time, I want you to check in at court services and do your ADSAP thing. I'll walk you through those. But where do you have a plan? Do you have a time available off that you can be here?
Should be coming like February 15th, I want to say, like the 15th. Honestly, like February 15th.
So report to the Kearny County Jail on February 15th. Does that work, sir?
Well, my brother's checking the date for when I have my days off.
Okay. And the next question I will ask is what time you want to check in. A ballpark is fine because that calculates then when they will release you.
Mhm.
I would say we get days off the 14th,
So
but
16th.
for the weather, through the week, 16th.
Yeah, I'll get there the 16th.
February 16.
Yeah.
And to check in by what time, sir?
I don't really know, to be honest, because it really depends on the plane, because sometimes they get delayed because of how the weather's been.
We'll just do February 17th at 8 AM.
That works.
Very well. Then the court will order you to spend your 48 hours beginning February 17th at 8 AM to be released 48 hours later and to activate your probation with court services within 48 hours after that, excluding weekends and holidays. That said, Mr. Gallegos, do you have anything further to add to this before I get to appeals and expungement?
Just payment of fines and fees, Your Honor. I'm just gonna ask that the court apply any fees first to restitution, second to court costs, and last fees. For that to be paid within the term of probation.
Very well. Court will order monies paid to go towards restitution first, then fines and fees, and to be paid in full prior to release from probation. Sir, that's another carrot on the stick. If you're wanting early release from probation, but you haven't paid your fines and fees, that could be a detriment. It could take you to the full amount. And again, the court reiterates the court services has discretion based on your performance as to termination of early probation. Anything further, Mr. Gallegos? While Mr. Gallegos is looking to see if there's anything he needs to cover, and I will ask the same of you, Mr. Ryan, in a moment. Sir, as a result of this conviction, you do have some rights to appeal. If you feel that you need to appeal any aspect of this, you have 14 days to do so. Your appeal must be filed within writing with the Kearny County District Court. If you do not file a written appeal within 14 days, you have waived your right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Finally, you do have a right to seek an expungement. An expungement is a court process, a civil process that can remove this conviction from your record at a future date. Usually it's after 3 years, but there are some variables for other types of offenses. Information regarding expungement can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right. One final thing, Mr. Gallegos, anything further for the court? Anything I need to cover?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I think we got everything.
Mr. Ryan, same question.
I think we're good.
Very well, then we are adjourned as to this matter. Thank you for your appearances. And Mr. Neela, you will be reporting on February 15th at 8 AM to the Kearny
February
County.
17th.
I'm sorry, February 17th at 8 AM to the Kearny
Yes.
County Jail, correct?
Yes.
All right. Nothing further. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.